Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Parenthood. I'm Neha, and if you've been listening for a while, you know this is a space where we talk about parenting as it is lived, not perfected, where careers and caregiving intersect, where doubt, joy, guilt, purpose, and identity all sit together at the same table. And today's conversation feels expansive already. I'm in conversation with someone who describes herself as a mother, aspiring farmer, non aspiring consultant, passionate social worker, and lazy entrepreneur, which I already love. Shruti Taneja is raising not just her daughter Aisha, but also chickens, cattle, a farm, a learning ecosystem, and a nonprofit, all alongside her partner in crime in every sense, Abhishek. Shruti speaks about parenting as something she has thrived in. She says Aisha is her mirror and her teacher, that she is in service of her fully while also respecting her as a complete individual. Shruti, I'm just so happy to have you here. Welcome to Parenthood.
Thank you, Neha. And yeah, it was almost embarrassing to, okay, this is what I wrote. But no, thank you so much, and thank you so much for doing this. Right, I've followed few of your episodes and been hearing some of the conversations, and it was really nice to hear different journeys, different versions of parenting that people are undergoing, and then what's it's doing for them. So thank you for investing your years into this.
Thank you. Thank you, Shruti. And Shruti, I want to start with you. If you had to describe yourselves in three words in this season of life, what would they be?
Pretty much, I think the words that you used, which is mother, nature lover, and aspiring entrepreneur.
And tell me if your life right now were a chapter in a book, what would it be called?
I answered that recently for another beautiful pod that I was a part of, but that was almost like if there was a title to my autobiography, what will that be? But I love this question that this chapter. So the autobiography title would perhaps be from identity to infinity. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and this chapter would be somewhere in between, right? Like it's that threshold of letting go of the identity and then moving into what non-identity can feel like, and then perhaps the infinity will come.
Wow.
Still very
Wow.
far away though.
I'm just soaking it in, and this is so profound. Like, this is so profound if you think about it. But let's talk about it more. But let's talk about identities. You wear so many of them. You yourself said mother, farmer in the making, consultant, social worker, ecosystem builder in a way. Which of these feel most central to you right now? And tell me which one of these surprises you the most.
Yeah. The process of letting go of identity is really surprising. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll share why. So we were just talking, right? I was born and brought up in Faridabad in a very loud, really Karan Joharish Punjabi family, okay, or a Multani family, and so loud. All my relatives are near Delhi NCR, and so growing up, like this part of identity was almost sacred,
Hmm.
right? Because had to create space also because I was a girl, also because in this big tubber, you had to claim your space. And then so identity was a very, very big part of my life till 30s. And then like I would proudly call myself, fiercely independent.
Hmm.
And the entire life journey, right? Like I was started my career in advertising, and I remember I was the youngest copywriter then, and my dream was, okay, I will become the youngest person ever to achieve or receive Clio or one of those awards, and then working in corporate, similar kind of feeling. And then there was a pivot. I joined Teach for India Fellowship. And during that time was this discovery of what else can life offer. And I remember going to Gandhi Ashram, and Gandhi Ashram had these values, and one of the values was interdependence.
Hmm.
And that just, it just shook me to the core because I was so proudly calling myself fiercely independent. And then there's this value of interdependence. And since then, it's just been for the last 10 years that Abhishek and me shifted to Solan. nature teaches you that the basic, most basic thing of life, which is not roti kapda makan, which is breathing. For
Mm.
breathing, you are interdependent.
Mm.
So there's nothing called as independence really. And so then if I'm not independent, then what identity am I holding? And so it's been that discovery. And similarly, in in life also, in all these, because I was doing all of these things, then the identity of a mother clashed with the identity of an entrepreneur, clashed with the identity of a farmer, because again, if I'm coaching and as a consultant to corporates and startups, then living a farm life, and then being an NGO or a jhola wala, all of these felt clashing, and
Right.
that created a lot of churn in my life. And so at one moment, kind of realized, are these really silos, or have I created them? Are these really
Mm.
identities that I have been holding on to?
Mm.
And at that moment, suddenly identities didn't seem important. And the joy of one flowing into each other, and which is, I think, partly the reason that I wrote on LinkedIn about Aisha's clothes, and you reached out.
Yeah.
While LinkedIn is a platform that I would mostly use for, of course, musings, but also learnings around coaching and consulting and farming. So yeah, and then one of the reckoning there, that I spend only so many hours with Aisha, but I don't call myself part-time mother, then why am I calling
Yeah.
myself part-time social worker, part-time entrepreneur, part-time farmer, yeah, so then the the right now, like I said, the chapter is that is alive, is letting go of these very hard identities into soft, okay, this is what I can resonate with, this is what I'm discovering,
Yeah.
and then trying out new, it's almost like trying new clothes, right?
Yeah.
Trying new aspects and letting life flow into one into each other.
Beautiful, beautiful. And tell me about Abhishek. You've been with him for some 2 decades in some form.
Yeah.
That's not
It's too long.
small. That's not, you describe yourselves as co-travelers working towards something larger than yourselves.
Yeah.
What does that actually look like in daily life?
Lot of fights, to be honest. But yeah, so first decade of our lives, I think we pretty much had life like most couples, right? Like we all both had our own careers, both had our own life choices, our circles, and kind of, we'll come together almost at evening, at night, right? And you're there together in the morning, and then pretty much your own life. And then I think a decade ago, when we decided that we're shifting to the hills, um, and then we call that our retirement phase. Because one, of course, the transition, but also I think this is what couples go through, right? After your retirement, you come together, and then there's this period of readjustment, learning to live with each other.
Yeah.
And so that happened because we were 24/7 together for 365 days, didn't have Aisha till then. There was no family around, no friends. So it was like, okay. But then what we joke about is, now that we've done that, now we're here for good. We know we're not running away, and then we know that we can handle retirement as well. Yeah, but it's been fun. I mean, fun in the sense that, like I said, that it no longer feels like my professional life and my personal life. It is one flowing into each other. The metrics that are decided are really decided keeping life in mind.
Yeah.
Uh, and so honoring the space that each one of us holds, honoring the life that we're co-creating, co-building together.
Yeah.
It is a lot of hard work, but also a lot of fun in terms of that we literally know that this is a life that we are very consciously creating together. So in fact, even choice of having office very close by, uh, when we're hiring or deciding on the team that is comfortable and that we can feel like is a part of family. So everything feels like family and everything feels like life. There is nothing
Yeah.
called abstract concept called work and or abstract concept called office. Um, yeah, but like I said, so there are days and there are days. There are days when fight of our home goes into the office, and then our team is like, listen, people, go back to your home, resolve, and come back. Yeah, and then there are days when the joy also overflows into
Yeah.
what we are creating together.
Yeah. And talk to me about the fights. What
Yeah.
helps you find your way back to each other?
Uh, parents used to say it long back, right? Like have a kid and then you will not have a you will have a reason. I think that is one big reason. I we realized it now. uh, but I think just the commitment. Uh, there is there is so much intentionality and joy in leading and creating what we're creating, and both of us know that we complement each other so well.
Yeah.
Uh, which means that there are differences, but those differences are what leads to fight. But then just kind of, so we have a pact that we'll never sleep angry at night.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
whatever, and it's been tested and how, but like whatever fights are there, we end it before we sleep, so that
Wow.
the next day is a new day. And yeah, so we just make it work one day at a time. And then there's always Aisha. I think kids are beautiful sensing machines, so
Yeah.
she knows. And she will make up for it, so not give us a chance to really be grumpy for long.
Yeah, yeah. And now talking about Aisha, you're raising her livestock, land, ideas all together. You know, talk to me about Aisha. Also talk to me about that shared mission, which is there between Abhishek and you. How has that strengthened your bond
Strengthen the bond with Aisha or
with
strengthen the bond?
yourself, with
Yeah.
each other?
Yeah. Yeah, shared mission, like, because see, it's um in the first phase of our life when we were building life together and building our careers, it was still in silos. And now when we're building life and careers and uh the organizations and teams and the work together, it's everything is everything is co-creation.
Right.
And so there are so many beautiful opportunities, right? Like the team members feel like our responsibility, and then just the way it changes the conversation in terms of that it's not a team where we have employees and where we are, they are working for us for a particular thing, but really when both of us are there, then just the sense of family flows into work.
Right.
And the care that then comes, so the culture that becomes in the organization, and then even shared missions become easy,
Hmm.
because alone I can only go as much, versus when we are together then saying, so we've right now taken a mission of helping Himachal become regenerative, and
Hmm.
it's a big mission,
Yeah.
right? But the fact that we took our time, and because we've been here for 10 years, but took our time, right? Really worked with each other, understood the state, and then came to a point that can it become our shared life mission?
Hmm.
Uh, and I'm sure I wouldn't have done it alone. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have even committed to something like this alone, and same for Abhishek. But together we know that, it can be possible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Aisha, how's she as a person? Tell me about her.
Fiercely independent.
Till she goes to Gandhi Ashram and
Yes.
discovers interdependence as a
Or
value.
or she will be like, listen, both of you are just boring the hell out of me. Let me be this. So both of us are on this journey of being very sustainable, being extremely eco-conscious, and she loves clothes. She loves makeup, she loves doing whatever, and she's like, she will not come to us for opinion on clothes. She's like, you guys don't know it. So fiercely independent, fiercely opinionated, but of course, like extremely caring, extremely sensitive, uh,
Hmm.
and and uh, and fully human. Like at no point do I feel that she's a child.
Yeah, yeah.
uh, I mean I have to remind myself of that. No, I have duties, and thereby I assume that she's a child. But at no point she feel like it feels like she's a child who does not know certain things,
Yeah,
uh, or does not have the intelligence or the kindness to be able to decide.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you've said something so powerful that a child makes her mother a mother. So
Yeah.
tell me what changed in you when Aisha entered your life.
Everything. The because before that, like even this fact of interdependence, I think was still kind of learning, understanding, but with her, it became so real.
Yeah.
And yeah, I firmly believe in, this question of parent and child. We question it so many times, like who's really the parent and who's really the child.
Yeah.
And am I the parent all the time? But I feel that there's so many times that Aisha is the parent. And then I'm sometimes the child, and the village is the parent, and atmosphere, the environment is the parent. Like there are so many parents really, and so many children. So this question of again the identity of am I a parent, am I a mother? Like this is an identity that right now I'm
Yeah.
holding very closely
Yeah.
to me. But also within mother, what does motherhood mean? And
Hmm.
is mother really the like is it a flow from mother to child?
Hmm.
Or the like it's a both way flow. So why I'm proud right now and hold this identity of mother is I feel that it's evolving me from a daughter, a sister, a wife, an entrepreneur to a mother, which feels more whole. And yeah, so um, sorry, I actually lost your question. Like I
That's
went
okay.
to this
That's okay. That's okay.
something,
Now I want to go to something else. You have
Hmm.
also said that parenting is something you feel you're doing right, if there is
Yes,
even such a thing. What
yes.
makes you feel that way?
That's a very hard question. It's like um it's actually yeah, very few things I feel I've uh sometimes you have this sense, okay, ये तो शायद ठीक हो रहा
हाँ.
है. With Aisha, there is that feeling. Of course, I don't know if you'll ask Aisha what will she say. But I mean, this just this, right? Like what is parenting for and who's parenting for? The idea of being able to trust Aisha to take her own decisions.
Hmm.
And so I can share a story. So, for example, we've never forced Aisha to eat anything,
Hmm.
or to, in fact, even eat.
Hmm.
Right. And then there have been times like, so we travel a lot on road sometimes, like going to my parents' house or Abhishek parents' house. Both of them are in around Delhi NCR. And so it's a long journey, right? 8 hours journey. And then she doesn't eat much while traveling. And we realize that's how it should be.
Hmm.
We're hogging. It
Yeah.
does not mean, so she's mostly on fluids, right? So since we haven't forced her, now I realize that even now, uh, she'll never overeat. Even if
Hmm.
you give her her favorite junk food, also she will not overeat. If her stomach is full, it is full. She will actually make choices based on her growing phase, based on the season, right? Like sometimes she'll ask for more carbs, sometimes she'll ask for more milk, sometimes she'll be no milk, only curd. Like so, she kind of makes those decisions, and we just respect her.
Right.
And so when she's ill, her body will actually ask. So, so it's like, and few of these choices which I can see in the choices that she's making, right? And so in that moment, again, not being a parent and being overtly anxious that, oh my God, she's not eating. Oh my God, why is she doing this? Oh my God, she's not eating roti or she's not eating dal. Like really letting her make that choice and then realizing that body has that wisdom. It's best sometimes being a parent to get out of the way.
Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
And so being able to decide in few such cases, I feel, and then seeing the result of it,
Yeah.
right? That's what gives me the conviction that it's one of those things that perhaps we are doing right.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, but where does this trust come from? Like, in this trusting this little child, was this instinctive or was it intentional that you wanted to do this way?
It's both. It's like this and that. So intentional, and I'll tell you one joke about that. So my intentional, because I had done my Teach for India and been in education for almost a decade, right? Like my vision was that no schooling.
Yeah.
Right? We're in the hills, we have all the time, we have a farm. I mean, so why send her to school? And so we homeschooled her for a few years. And then once we sent her to, so in Solan we have winter sessions. What is mean is in December the schools end and then they reopen in Feb. So most of the schools have this winter camp,
Hmm.
equivalent to I think in North that you have summer camps. And so that is a lot of fun, right? Like a lot of activities, multi-class, multi-age classrooms, children are having fun, they're going to picnics. So you're like, yeah, this is perfect. So we sent her, and she never ever said that she's not enjoying it. She would not miss a single class. She would actually, we had to travel, and she said, no, I can't travel because I have my winter camp. And then the winter camp ended, and she's like, I want to go to school.
Wow.
Because, of course, all of her friends are going to school, and we were like, we were trying to pester her.
Yeah.
Aisha, क्या करेगी school जाके? Sure, we will have fun. We have so much fun at home. She's like, no, I want to go to school. And so in that moment, the intention was that no schooling, but there's this kid who enjoys school so much.
Yeah.
And so we ended up enrolling her in school, and she's one of those kids who runs to school.
Yeah.
Right? So there's this saying, right, that children walk to school and run back home. It's opposite for her. She runs to school every single day. Like her school has to start tomorrow, and she's already like she has everything laid out. Her clothes are out. Everything is like, okay, get me the books. She's revised her stuff that he has to go to school.
Wow.
So it was like, you just canceled my TED talk. So the intentions just go off the window. And by I but to your question, I feel by listening.
Hmm.
The trust comes from listening.
Hmm.
And if I'm going in with preconceived notions, those notions are what I need, not
Yeah.
necessarily what the child needs. So really creating space to listen to the child, and so listening to body. When Aisha is saying something, her body is saying something. When Aisha is saying she wants to go to school, perhaps, and one of our realization was perhaps as a kid enjoys some discipline and structure, and perhaps that she's not getting at home
Yeah.
clearly.
Yeah.
Right? Nothing structured. So and then so that's what she needs, and that's what she's getting.
Yeah.
And when she outgrows it, she outgrows it. If she doesn't, she doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
My lethargy of getting her to do homework and tests should not come in way of her getting what she wants. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of schooling, Shruti, what was that shift like for you? In terms of you had to give up a whole ideology of homeschooling and then putting your child into the school. So how was it for you personally?
Itna serious nahi tha. I got more hours to work. So
I
it's a
love that.
win-win. So selfishly, yeah, of course, it makes my life easier.
Yeah.
Uh, and but And in a way, I don't think we've honestly hit that road where letting go of ideology, because I think in all the other spheres, right, school is only what few hours in a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rest of the time is still with us. Rest of the time is still in a way that she's spending. And then her school, like we got her enrolled in a school where it's a very small neighborhood school, and one of conscious choices of even that school was where there's mixed, diverse children who are coming in,
Yeah.
right? So it's in that sense because it's not a very high income, high fee school, right? It has a great mix of children, great mix of teachers, great mix of parents who are coming in, and they're allowing us our uh, whatever fancy ideologies. So like she misses school a lot. And
Yeah.
I think it's only till a few grades that they will allow us. So she ends up going to school, what, 10, 15 days in a month, not more, or in fact even lesser, because rest of the time, either whenever we're traveling in workshops or we have work, she's with us. So in that sense, it's kind of nice. I think it's traversing both worlds. So it
Yeah.
did feel like changing so much. I
Yeah.
think the pain will come once in fifth, sixth grade, her exams are there and she's to sit and I have to sit with her. That is when perhaps it'll hit home.
Yeah, but that's a little far off,
Yeah.
so you can chill till then.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me, where do you feel most confident as a parent?
Confident as a parent. Mm, I feel I'm overall okay enjoying the journey, right? So there's nothing that I'm not like. All children are experiments
Yeah.
of their parents.
Yeah.
It's like we've been taught everything under the sun except parenting and except relationships. And then those are places where we spend most time. So in that sense, I'm pretty sorted. Like ठीक है, अब उसके साथ में कुछ गलत होएगा तो that's it. That's our life, and कुछ जो हमारे साथ हो रहा है, which is okay. But yeah, but this part of being very intentional yet being light about it
Hmm.
is where I feel the confidence comes from.
Yeah.
That and two, in terms of just the exposure. So
Mm.
she traverses from a tier three city to a farm which is in a village to metros to her cousins, closest cousins being outside of India, right? So she's traversing all of this, and so in terms of, see, all children and adults are tuned to learning.
Yeah.
It's not that only in school or if she's sitting with me, she's learning. She's learning nevertheless. So what I can do, similar to a plant, right? Like you just create conditions,
Yeah.
and then the tree will grow to be a tree that it has to be given the circumstances, given where it is. And then some trees will bloom faster, some trees will bloom later. So the confidence is coming from, are we creating those right conditions for her?
Yeah.
Uh, Through this exposure, through trusting her, through listening to her, spending time, a lot of conversations.
Mm.
Uh, so even difficult conversations. So whenever we go to metros, right, like in Delhi NCR, we see kids on the street who are begging, and then we have even had conversations around that. That what does it mean?
Yeah.
Uh, and what do we do collectively about it? So a lot of rules in the house, a lot of conversations in the house are set according to what we feel should be done and then kind of changing them. Yeah so yeah so the confidence I feel, where am I feeling confident is in just in terms of number of conversations we're having, the conditions we're creating. That is what makes me feel confident as a parent.
Yeah. And is there something that leaves you fumbling when it comes to parenting?
There was this one moment very early on. I think she was 2.5 or 3. And so, like I said, she's extremely opinionated and she loves clothes. Okay. We That was our biggest fight till date. That
Wow.
she said that she wants to wear matching, everything should be matching, including
Mm.
her underwear. And I was like, we're in this journey, we're not buying clothes. And there's this kid who's saying and who's crying that I will refuse to wear clothes. And I was like, I give up. And then I remember having a talk with my sister-in-law, and she's like, "It's okay, let her make the choice of clothes. Like, what's wrong?" And I was like, "Yeah, actually, what's the big deal?" So since then, she's chosen, and that's again I realized, oh, that's made my life even simpler. Now
Yeah.
she can choose the clothes that she wants to wear. I don't have to even pick out her clothes. But yeah, these places sometimes leave me fumbling in terms of, consciously Abhishek and me have come to a point where we've designed our life in a particular way,
Yeah.
and then what is that right balance for her? So for example, again, we don't gift, we don't accept gifts, we don't but what does it mean for Aisha?
Mm.
Like, so we don't, mostly don't consume, try and consume no junk, reduce plastic, like reduce clothes. Uh, but she's seeing her peers, her friends do some of that. And then so again, what is that right balance? So that's in few of those places, I feel that there are sometimes a lot of learning, relearning, negotiation, understanding, that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And something you said struck me, very, very like kind of forcefully. She attends school part-time in a way and travels with you to workshops and workspaces. And you said she learns and, talking about learning, but these are very adult spaces, if you will. So how how accommodating these spaces are for her when she is with you in them.
The spaces are not accommodating, she's accommodating.
Oh, wow.
But just by her being there, the spaces have learned to become accommodating.
Mm,
So so one, I feel that in any of these places that we have as adults, one, they should have children and animals.
yeah.
Far too long, far too much. We have these
Mm,
boring adult spaces, and then we go into this because it just makes it so real.
yeah.
And we've seen the difference in places where there are children and animals, and there are spaces which don't have any children and animals, like they're just more real. So
Yeah.
the kind of conversations in the room, just because Aisha is around, the nature of conversation completely shifts. And
Right.
then in most of these spaces, again, she's doing her own thing. So, right, like
Yeah.
she's helping. But like one beautiful example we had was that we do these sustainability confluences. They're not conferences or workshops. So we call them Satat Sammelan, and it's a 3-day space. And again, it's designed to be intergenerational. So you have from 3-year-old to 80-year-olds in the same room. And the formats is such that it has a lot of like theater and dance and sometimes, but it has those boring spaces also where it's just conversations.
Yeah.
But kids are on the side and they were drawing. And then what so beautifully happened is after 3 days, all of these kids made these posters called I Love You Earth.
Oh.
They were not part of any discussion. They were not, but just by passive listening, right?
Yeah.
uh, like that's what showed up for them, and then they had these cards of I love you to earth and made all sort of things. Um so in all of these spaces, yes, they are more adult spaces, but I feel one adult becoming more human because Aisha is around. And Aisha, I feel like it's so beautiful that our busiest work time, which is these workshops, is actually Aisha's vacation time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
there and she has like these tons of didis and bhaiyas, and someone will be like, most of the people are child friendly in that sense, and they will be, so she will get a lot of pampering, a lot of attention, and it keeps us grounded in terms of that we have to start by 9, by 10, and close by 5, and have
Yeah.
spaces where, Aisha can be involved.
Yeah.
So in a way, it makes us also more human, more inclusive.
Yeah. 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 And and while we are on this topic, what would a truly child inclusive world look like for you?
Uh, no laptops.
What are you saying? How would you have this conversation with me?
We just realized we're in Faridabad. We would have spoken about that earlier and had this face to face. Uh, Yeah, I mean, we're very hard on ourselves as adults. Sometimes I feel when Aisha in such spaces, we realize, right? Like so much talking, so much head.
Yeah.
A good mix is a balance of head, heart, and hand, where there's a lot of doing. So truly inclusive, child-friendly world is where there's a lot of doing.
Yeah.
Uh, there's a lot of talking, but real talking, right? Like real emotions, like this conversation,
Yeah.
and very less head.
Hmm.
uh, it's like in the five senses, out of five senses, we overtly use our eyes as a sense.
Hmm.
In truly inclusive world, we'll have all. Like children crave touch so much. As
Hmm.
adults, there is no space for touch. We don't
Yeah.
even know our equation, comfort with touch, right? Either
Yeah.
it's into like extremely,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a very weird spectrum. Uh, Truly inclusive world will have so much doing together, and then learning automatically follows.
Yeah.
Open spaces, right? Like not just serious working spaces. 9 to 5 seems like the norm, but why is it a norm? 9 to 5 is a damn long time without any
Yeah.
breaks, and we know what it's doing to our bodies. We know what it's doing to our minds. Night shifts, oh my God. So yeah, so truly inclusive spaces will have a lot of intentional breaks, lot of intentional conversations, lot of doing, lot of giggling.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of spaces where we can laugh and then just chill.
Yeah. 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 And tell me, Shruti,
Presence.
talking
And
about, yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
no, just and presence.
Yeah.
I feel again something that Aisha has been teaching me through and through is it's not really a matter of number of hours I'm spending with her, but
Hmm.
what am I doing in the time that I'm spending with her? Like, can I completely be with her?
Hmm.
So she
Hmm.
gets damn irritated if I have my phone on and when I'm speaking to her. So
Yeah.
the quality of my presence is, and so just 1 hour of, I think, good presence makes up the entire day.
Yeah. 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 And has motherhood simplified your priorities for you?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
In what
The
terms?
first thing that goes on my calendar is morning time with Aisha, afternoon time with Aisha, evening shutdown time. And so whenever she's not around, I'm working more than required. I mean, if
Yeah.
I can do it in most days with her, so yeah, so completely. Uh,
Hmm.
if it's an off day, it's an off day. If it's Aisha's time, it is Aisha's time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
absolutely.
And what about Abhishek? Has fatherhood simplified his priorities for him?
So when Aisha came into my life, I was like, I feel like I don't need you anymore. And he's like, wow. But in a very weird way, that seems true. And so for him, yes, to prioritize in terms of like I was like, see all those roles about patriarchy and all of those roles about you going out of home, being the breadwinner. and coming back, I'm completely okay with it now. Like I know I fought most of my adulthood saying, no, no, this is not there, I should work. But yeah, that completely makes sense to me. But yeah, for him now to be validated in the household is where he has to prioritize a lot.
Yeah. And do you have differences in your parenting styles?
Yeah. Fortunately, I feel that Abhishek and me are aligned on values point a lot.
Hmm.
And then that's why we've taken a lot of decisions, a lot of chosen this lifestyle together. But of course, there will always be differences. But I think kind of subtly knowing where am I not, where does he have veto and where do I
Yeah.
have veto.
Yeah.
So parenting almost by default, I think I have vetoes. So
Yeah.
he will get out of the way. But even like schooling, for example, I think so for me it was like no school. But when this was Aisha, so then Abhishek kind of also nudged me into thinking that if she's enjoying school,
Yeah.
uh, then can there be a possibility of school, etc. So I think yeah, but not any major differences as such.
Hmm. 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 And talking about, was there a previous version of you? Because I hear it from many, many mothers that before the child came into my life, there was a version of me who's not there anymore. Is that true for you also?
Yes and no. So one, I think one of the um, we had Aisha pretty much into adult, like late 30s,
Yeah.
right? So by then, anyways, your few phases of life are over.
Yeah.
So there's definitely before and after Aisha phase, but it's less to do with Aisha. I think it's more to do with the age.
Yeah.
Uh, but are there versions? So something sometimes, yeah. So I had a lot of me time earlier, and as a person, I feel I craved it, and I really wanted it. Now, while I know I need it, but it just feels that even if I don't have it, it's okay. Like
Yeah.
Aisha times feels more precious. Uh,
Oh.
but no other kind of, I won't say. Like it's of course it's part of growing up and it's part of just evolving, I feel.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me, what does a typical day for you looks like? Between everything that you do, between your farm life, workshops, learning, motherhood, everything.
Typical day. So Aisha is our alarm clock. She
Yeah.
wakes us up. She's like again one of those things, right? Like eating and waking up. So she sleeps on time and she gets up on time, and we actually don't need an alarm clock. Like she will get up on time, wake us up. And so beautiful. I think I love these small rituals with her. So the morning ritual when she wakes up and like a kid, like her eyes are like this bright and open, and she's like get up and have all this masti. So that's like again we get up earlier so that we can accommodate this 15 to 30 minutes of morning bedtime
Yeah.
waking up ritual. Yeah, so sometimes, yeah, so getting up with her, and that will involve either sometimes games, sometimes exercises, sometimes yoga, sometimes reading. It depends on her mood. And then the usual, right? Like getting ready for school. Um, so, and then she goes to school, and then that is the time that we have for our work. So kind of back to screens and back to work. Uh, Lunch is when again everyone comes together. So by that time Aisha comes back, and then the entire office is here. So all of us again eat together, and that's I think another beautiful ritual. So for Aisha, she has it's almost like she will take a plate and then just go around and take something from everyone, and it's so beautiful that so as a household we eat less spicy food. And so
Yeah.
I of course does not eat as much spicy food, but all our team members have started cooking and getting food which is less spicy so that Aisha can
Oh.
eat. So she gets to have like all of this variety of food. So that is like again 1.5 hour of lunchtime ritual playing. And then I think till 5 and 6 again, it's work for us. For her, it is playtime, music class, other things that she wants to do. She will get hold of someone, just play. And then uh, I think again the last ritual of the day, dinner and bedtime. So we will make either we'll make food together. If she's very tired, then she'll be listening to stories. If we have time, we'll just play games together, all three of us. Uh, I love her time with me in the kitchen, right? So she's now experimenting with making vegetables.
Wow.
So that's something that she will do. Yeah, and then bedtime. So her bedtime is with me. And so we tried multiple things because sometimes I'm traveling and Abhishek is at home. So it's like, okay, we'll try 2 days of her not
Yeah.
sleeping with me. But like, okay, if she's anyway sleeping when I'm not there, then let me be here when I'm here. Why? Again, one of those things that, because we've been so conditioned to, nahi, child should be independent, child should do this. Okay. I mean, when I'm not here, it's not that she's making a fuss.
Yeah.
So then she's adapting. So then why do I compromise on just because she needs to learn to do something?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a typical day. And then post once Aisha sleeps and she sleeps early, so then that is Abhishek and my time. So almost like 2 hours of a cool down ritual where both of us will just sit, watch the crappiest shows, or just have conversations. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Do you ever feel stretched that you're doing too much?
Uh, a lot of times, but that's mostly, I think, at mostly work. And if it's new work, right? Like, so I think that's the learning curve at work. So we picking a lot of battles and a lot of things which we've not done earlier
Yeah.
and which we don't really know.
Yeah.
Uh, so those are times when it feels stretched, like not stretched, actually busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but one resolve is that it should not trickle down into how we are behaving with each other and with Aisha. So kind of then there are phases.
Yeah.
Uh, Initially, yes, I feel early years. So I'd taken a sabbatical when Aisha came, but post that when I joined, I think first few, almost 1.5 year was difficult. Uh,
Hmm.
Giving attention to everything, trying to learn and then understand, holding everything together. But now I think, yeah, it's pretty sorted. Sometimes it feels busy,
Yeah.
also when travel comes up. But yeah, most
Yeah.
of the other times it feels, like I said, because now the underlying feeling of that each one of this is feeding into each other.
Right.
So
Right.
then that kind of regenerates my energy, right? I
Yeah.
know what I'm learning with Aisha is also informing and improving my quality of my work, how I'm showing up at my work. Like, so with that awareness, I feel that it started to become integrated, holistic, and easy.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And is there a belief or something that you were told about parenting that you've had to unlearn in your journey?
A lot of things, a lot of all of this. So the if you were to ask me for a parenting checklist before being a parent and now, I think it's completely opposite. Like, so like food, for example.
Yeah.
So uh, in my household, I've been grown to kind of, have meals on time, have this, you can't waste food. And so while not wasting food still holds true, but wasting food at cost of your body also. So what
Yeah.
does wasting food mean? Like even questioning that. So relationship with food, relationship with uh, schooling,
Hmm.
relationship with discipline, right? Like all of this relationship with something, children should be conditioned into doing certain things,
Yeah.
and children are children. So
Yeah.
all of this, I think, all of this took a lot of unlearning.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
and in fact, so even in Teach for India, right, when we joined, we were told that you will unfortunately become the teacher you did not like, and you will become the parent you did not like.
Yeah.
Because then in terms of crisis and in terms of when you're helpless, you only look back into your own journey.
Right.
And if you didn't have good role models or good examples, like, so in moments when I know when I'm very angry or when I'm not able to handle, I go back to how I was raised.
Hmm.
But and so that took a lot of unlearning, no, because I know that was not right. Like punishment or uh, scolding was an inherent part of my growing up, at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
So knowing that's not a fallback option.
Yeah.
So discovering what else.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
Like if Aisha is angry at if I'm being angry at her, then there is no point on saying that don't be angry.
Yeah.
Right? So then, but then what's the alternate? So there are times, of course, then I'll still be angry, but then also in that moment, pausing and looking back, okay, what is it telling me about myself? Like, what is my relationship with anger?
Hmm.
What is she seeing in the environment that she's expressing her anger, right?
Hmm.
Where is she not being heard? So all of this required a lot of mindful and conscious unlearning, holding back, questioning.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, a lot of times I think the default conditioning will come up.
Yeah. 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 And after you have done that, you realize, you take a step back
Yeah,
and
yeah,
see it that okay, ये क्या किया मैंने?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
One hack that I've recently understood is look at your grandparents. Okay, I feel that parents are too involved. Grandparents have the love, yet they've seen the life to know कि क्या important है. So
Hmm.
most likely, like my mother or Abhishek's mother is not fretting about anything. I actually let it go. It's not important. If they are not fretting, which means, but if they're fretting about something, perhaps there's wisdom there because
Hmm.
they've seen now two generations grow up,
Yeah.
right? So like they hardly fuss about food. So food is like completely gone now from my radar. I'm not fussing about it at all.
Yeah.
And then so certain things like this, when they're not fussing, I'm like, okay, what can I learn from what they are sharing?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Something to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Shruti, tell me if you could sit across from your pre-parent self because there was a checklist, there was so many, things that you thought this is how you would be. What would you tell her now?
Have children slightly early. I know I'm
Oh,
sounding like my
I'll also
mother.
tell her that.
It's like children need a lot of energy. Like if I would have had children early, perhaps I would have had more children.
Yeah.
But now like now there's no energy. Like my earlier this thing was छह बच्चे और छह कुत्ते साथ में रख दो.
Wow.
And they will take care of each other. You don't need to do anything.
That's not true. That's not true.
Pretty much true. All our parents were raised like that. Who's to say they were raised to be better human beings than our children would be? I think that's
Yeah.
all a notion in our head.
Yeah.
Um, all I can do is work on myself. But yeah, so one like this wisdom that our parents kept on telling us that if you want to have children, have them early.
Yeah.
There's merit.
Yeah.
You just have more energy. I was like, now I tell my mom, you could have told me कि energy की बात थी, not about
Huh.
anything else. You know, अब उसको घोड़ा बनना है, मुझे उसको 2 फ्लोर चढ़ा के लाना है. They're like, okay, I need to do strength training a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but and then otherwise, like it's not as I feel the my pre this thing self like I feel both Abhishek and me were always we always knew we'll have children and wanted a family, um, but there's still I think a lot of fear and unknown and
Mm.
almost this at least in my head there was this societal kind of this thing of life completely changes,
Yeah.
right? And so that came with a lot of expectations and delays. Okay, ठीक है, मतलब change होना है, so let's delay it, etc. So that's something that I would tell my previous self, which is that life changes, but life changes for good, and life is anyways changing.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so yeah, and nothing to be afraid of, nothing to be really scared of, nothing to really, and then perhaps I lived them out. So, but I don't think I'm missing anything about my previous life.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
But that might just be because 35 years I did whatever I wanted to do. And none,
Whatever it was,
yeah.
yeah, then you had children at the right age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And finally, as my last question to you for today, Shruti, if you could offer one insight to parents listening, especially those trying to, do it right, what would it be?
It takes, like, I feel the only, not advice, the only kind of thing that I would share is that it is true that it takes a village to raise a child. Um, And so finding that village, right? And that can be anyone. That can be village, can be again village, can be pets, village can be your your joint family, village can be friends, village can be school. So finding that village and investing in that village, like I feel so blessed that we have so many people around us, and so many, because I see Aisha growing in ways that only Abhishek and me couldn't have, if both of us were only raising her, or
Yeah.
raising her by our definition of raising, right?
Yeah.
So investing in that village basically just makes our life easier.
Yeah.
And child, of course, more vibrant. So if not for the child, doing it for yourself also.
Yeah.
Having that village so that you can have some time for yourself, you can have your own space as well.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Shruti. This conversation feels spacious, like your life. Thank you for speaking about parenting, not as performance, not just not as performance, but as a practice. And I think what strikes me most about our conversation is that you reminding us that children are whole individuals, if not adults, and not projects to be managed. So that is what I'm taking out from this conversation. Thank you for speaking with me.
Thank you, Neha, for those beautiful questions. It made me think a lot, and yeah, it was beautiful reflection for me as well to really understand my life journey. So thank you for this space.
You're most welcome. And to everyone listening, if this episode resonated, please share it with someone who might need to hear it. Follow, subscribe, leave a review if you can. It helps this community grow. Until next time, this is Neha Garg signing off. Bye bye.